5 matches have been played since yesterday's episode, 4 in the league, 1 in the Champions League, and a clean sheet in every one of them. Unfortunately, not all of them were for us. And welcome back, everyone, to episode number 97 of Bottom to the Top. We are getting closer and closer to Friday's 100th episode of the series. And we started off with a 1-0 loss to Arsenal in the league since we last saw each other. Martin Odegaard scored a penalty on a very suspect call on the edge of the box that should have been outside the box, and no penalty in the second minute. And that was the entirety of the scoring. We only managed 7 shots while holding the ball less than 50% of the time. And oh yeah, we lost Wilfried Yanto. So one less backup on the attack as well. We did find our scoring ways again as we made our way into European competition once again. 3-0 at home over Fenerbahce. The Turkish side really just couldn't get anything going. A penalty by Harvey Vale converted in the 28th minute, and goals from David Heinz and Efthis Shokos in the second half as things were starting to tilt towards Fulham in that match made it pretty easy for us to pick up a victory and move back into the top 8 in the Champions League. Unfortunately, neither team could really get out of first gear in the next match. Also at home, we took on Chelsea. 0-0 was the final score. Pretty even on shots. Chelsea actually dominated in possession. Decent game for Hugo Larsson and Alphonse Gomer in the midfield, but really just could not get anything going offensively. Clean sheet for both sides in this one. Cannot say the same thing about Manchester City. It was the Erling Haaland show, converting in the 35th minute on a very masterfully executed counterattack where he found himself all alone, and then he delivered a header past Nick Shavlina in the 72nd minute. City 2, Fulham 0 at the Etihad. However, we were able to bounce back at home in the rain against Everton. We slowed things down a lot. We also had to rotate quite a bit because we're playing a ton of matches. I think only like 2.5 weeks in game has passed since the last episode, and we've already played 5 matches. 10-2 your shots on goal. The Toffees really could not get out of first gear. They almost got one back at the very end in the 8th minute of added time in the second half. Giacomo Raspadori, though, unable to convert on a awarded penalty. Nicola Shavlina saved the only shot he faced in that instance. 2-0, which leaves us sitting in 8th place in the Premier League, just 3 points out of one of the Champions League spots, still 12 behind Manchester United at the top of the table. Man U still has not lost. They are 10-4-0. We have 2 losses, still only the second least in the Premier League. But the 5 victories, 7 draws, making things tough sledding in the league. Hopefully we can get back on track as we hit the festive period. We're making our way into the month of December. Our action is going to begin this episode in the Champions League. We currently find ourselves 8th on the table, which means if things hold as they are, well, you know what that means. We automatically go through to the round of 16. Still 3 matches left to go. Feyenoord is on the docket, and they are right on our heels, sitting in 14th place, just 1 point behind us. But there are a lot of teams in between. A win today, we can pop up as high as 2nd on the table, assuming that Benfica, Juve, RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, and Dortmund don't win as well. Why do I keep looking so far ahead in these things? Nicola Shavlina is going to get the start in goal. Some changes along the back for Harvey Vale, obviously starting in place of the injured Victor Christensen, who is back on the road to recovery. Christian Sosa will be paired with Filippo Bufano. Now, Khaled Ghanayem is exhausted, basically. After playing in the international break, he's played most every match. He is going to be taking a rest. We don't have Racine Sissoko. He is off at the Africa Cup of Nations. So, Bufano, you get the call because we really don't have anybody else we can put in there right now. I mean, we do. but we're choosing not to. And Luke Couchman is going to come back in as our right back. Goamer also pretty tired. He may not see out the entire match, but we'd like to get him in there to get things started. He will anchor the midfield behind Tom Burford and Hugo Larsson. Toshimitsu Endo, Nikolai Rumyantsev, and Federico Guerrero are going to round out our attacking three. Hoping against all, hope to make it 2 in a row. A pretty masterful display in our 2-0 victory at home against Everton. We are still at home in front of a full house of 29,700. Still no word yet on if they found a site for our new stadium. Craven Cottage is going to be around for another couple of years, I have a feeling. And an early highlight for Feyenoord, just 2 minutes in. Dario with a free kick. We'll leave it short for Guilherme. Dario wide to the right. Nobody picking him up. And he's going to sneak it in past Nicolas Shavlina along the far side. It's 1-0. I mean, these short corner routines, or not short corner routines, short free kick routines are very dangerous, but it took a long time for our players to kind of suss out what was happening. Christian Sosa kind of day late and a dollar short on that one, and an early lead for Feyenoord on the road. Hopefully we can get one back. Kurbanov leaving it for Ertsen, trying to move it forward. Guilherme back for Ertsen. Sent ahead, Harvey Vales getting in the way. Burford, he's got Larsson. Larsson moving it to his right. Will push it forward toward the edge of the box, into the middle. Poked in by Federico Guerrero, his 6th goal of the year to equalize this match at 1. I mean, you see the corner headers, you see the bangers from outside of the box, you see the masterful free kicks. You do not often see outside of the foot redirections like that one. Larsson throwing it in front, Guerrero getting his leg on it, putting it past the goalkeeper to tie things up at 1. 3-2, your shots on goal in the early going. Fulham still in 7th place currently. Now, RB Salzburg is not in action right now, but neither is Dortmund. That's why we've moved ahead of them, picking up the point that they are unable to collect because they're not playing football right now. It's amazing how these things work sometimes. 5 minutes remaining in the first half, and not a lot of action since. The ball kind of going back and forth. Feyenoord enjoying a bit more of the possession than I would like. So, yeah, let's say we're disappointed about the possession thing. Let's see if we can pump up the rest of our team. Bafano is not in the greatest of moods. As we make a slight tactical tweak in possession, we're going to knock the tempo down, just like we did in the Everton match. We're going to try to work the ball into the box. We'll see if these changes continue to provide us with a little bit of a boost. Goamer is going to stay out on the pitch for a little bit longer. I am still a little concerned about his fitness moving forward. Cled Ganayam also, we're going to leave Filippo Bafano out on the pitch for a bit more, but Bafano is kind of not really in the headspace we need our center back to be in. 5 minutes elapsed and no major activity here in this second half. Fenerbahce 3-0 lead over Shakhtar. Are we playing Shakhtar? It'd be nice if we could play Shakhtar because I'm pretty sure we could beat them, and this is not good. A knee injury to Toshimitsu Endo. Federico Juarez is actually not going to come in. Federico Guerrero is going to move over, and Eftisis Shokos is going to come in on the right-hand side. And that will be the change we make with 30 minutes remaining in this match. Still hanging on to a top 8 place, but getting a goal here would go a mighty long way to making our repeat of our run here in the Champions League that we saw last year actually come to fruition. Tom Burford not having the greatest match. We're going to bring in Josh Sharp. He scored a goal in the Everton match. He has been sharp. He's got 4 goals in 10 senior appearances. Gomer also will come out. Kim Young-suk will take his place in the defensive midfield spot. So Young-suk is now the number 6. Tom Burford has been replaced by Josh Sharp, and unfortunately, it has not done anything. We are still tied. 6 minutes of added time is going to come and go without a highlight. Draw against Feyenoord. More yellow on our ledger. But hey, for right now at least, we're still top 8 in the Champions League. Of course, that probably is going to change once Dortmund, Genk, Inter, and Arsenal play their 6th matches. But if we can hang on to this position, probably not going to happen. But if we can, I like the way we're set up for our final 2 matches, which are going to be coming up in January. I mean, it's only Barca and Porto. What could possibly go wrong? Toshimitsu Endo being out 2 to 3 months. That's what can go wrong. Well, I have to admit, I was kind of excited to bring this one to you from St. James's Park. Matchup against 13th place Newcastle, and we got the scoring started early, 9 minutes in. A nice feed to Rumyantsev for his 6th of the year. Then watch this. Couchman, Larson, beautiful flip into the box, and a masterful finish by Tom Burford. We took a 2-0 lead into the dressing room, and, well, Newcastle, they started to turn things on in the second half. Donnelly making a goal pretty much like the one we saw Federico Guerrero score earlier on in the match, and then super sloppiness on the back line. Ghanayem trying to clear it right through the body of Lima. He's able to put it past Shavlina. Newcastle holds on to a 2-2 draw. So we remain 8th place on the table. 5 wins, 8 draws, 2 losses, 23 points. Can you just imagine where we would be if we had only, I don't know, 1/2 of those matches that we failed to? Yeah, we'd be at the top of the Premier League. It's okay. It's okay. We do, however, have the opportunity to move one step closer to picking up yet another domestic trophy. Aston Villa stands in our way of reaching the semifinals of the Carabao Cup. Going to be using a slightly different squad for this one. Kim Seon-il is going to get the start in goal. It's going to be a back four of Christensen coming back, making his first start since the injury. Sosa is going to be paired with D'Amico in the center, and Luke Couchman will be on the right-hand side. Filippo Bofano is going to be at the base of the midfield behind Hugo Larsson and Kim Young-suk. 23-year-old David Zambrano is going to get the start on the left wing, Eftisos Shokos on the right-hand side, and David Heinz is going to be our striker. Now, Rumyantsev, Gomer, Khaled Ghanayem, Federico Guerrero, Tom Burford, all available on the bench. We're just trying to give our players a rest because it is quite the gauntlet we've been going through with matches every 3 days or so for pretty much the last month and for, frankly, the foreseeable future. And even though they do find themselves at the top of the table in the championship, Aston Villa going through a bit of a wobble. Just draws and losses. They have not won in their last 5. 2 other matches going on right now in the Carabao Cup. It's Everton and Newcastle. And we'll get to the other one because I already lost track of what it was. Malero with the free kick. That's going to clatter off of the crossbar. The rain is coming down in... Are they in Birmingham? Is Aston Villa in Birmingham? I think it is. The rain's coming down at Villa Park for this EFL Cup quarterfinal. Also Reading and West Ham in action. Actually, those are Premier League matches. Forget everything that I said. Christensen to throw it in. We played 30 minutes. Still no score. Zambrano playing it back and getting it back from Kim Young-suk, trying to curl it into the top corner and just hitting it a little bit too strong. Zovko did not even have to move for that one. It did sail out. West Ham taking a 1-0 lead over Reading. Just 1 shot on goal for each team in this match. And at the half, we are going to make some tactical changes. Not necessarily to the lineup. However, we are going to make some alterations to how we are playing the match. And we did this in the Everton match in the rain as well. We knocked the tempo way down. We were working the ball into the box, and we are going to play for set pieces while no longer passing into space. We're going to try to be a little bit more short and direct with our passing. Hopefully we can use that to our advantage. We can use our superior skill on the pitch rather than relying on speed and any other kind of trickeration. Can't really think of the word I was looking for there. Aston Villa with the majority of the possession here or the momentum, I should say, here in the second half. It's Steve King picking up a booking for them. Still no shots, though, in this second frame, and we've already played nearly 20 minutes. So Zambrano's going to come off. Federico Guerrero is going to take his place. Shokos will be spelled by Tom Burford. Hugo Larsson, while playing very well, is a bit tired. Josh Sharp will take his spot. And Nikolai Rumyantsev coming in for David Heinz, who just frankly really couldn't do much of anything. That 6-3 rating really isn't Heinz's fault. Not getting a lot of service, as it has been quite the sloppy match. 10 minutes left to go. Throwing Guerrero is going to play it back for Sosa. Best chance of the afternoon for Fulham if we can take advantage. Bafano feeding Christensen in the middle. Kim Young-suk back out wide. Christensen looking for Guerrero in the box. He's got it. It's knocked off of his foot by the defender. No foul. And easily scooped up by Peter Zovko. So 5 minutes remaining plus whatever time is added on. Just 4 shots on the match for Fulham. Fulham the only shot on target of the afternoon so far. And it's been messy and rainy at Villa Park. And we are going to penalties, which sadly is not, as you can see on your screen, the specialty of this team. Although we've got some very composed players. Hopefully the composure will shine through over their lack of penalty-taking ability. So another cup match for Fulham, coming down to spot kicks. And Akomak taking it first for Aston Villa and putting them ahead 1-0. Nikolai Rumyantsev, now he's had his share of troubles from this position. The right footer steps up, shoots, and gets Zovko to go the wrong way. 1-1. Kim Seon-il stepping back onto the line. Rahani for Villa. Takes a deep breath, delivers, and scores. 2-1 Villa. Federico Guerrero to take the second shot for the Cottagers. He will shoot and fire it past Zovko to make it 2-2. Thiago Tomas now, wearing the number 9, stepping up, shooting, and scoring. 3-2 Villa. First team to make a mistake is going to be the one to lose. Tom Burford. Can you imagine if we had not put our starters back in? He roofs it to tie it up at 3. It's Ashmore now for Aston Villa. Best out of 5. Ashmore shoots. And Kim Seon-il guesses correctly but cannot get down in time. It's Villa 4. Fulham 3. Christian Sosa, the center back, shoots and scores. Almost a carbon copy of the Villa kick. Azevedo to take on Kim Seon-il with the left foot. And Kim Seon-il able to make the save. We are even at 4. The final taker for Fulham, hopefully, fingers are crossed, is getting ready to step up. Zovko back in the net. It is going to be Victor Christensen in his first start since the injury. Steps up, gets Zovko to guess the wrong way. Christensen scores, and Fulham is on to the semifinals of the Carabao Cup. And it's not going to be an easy road from here. Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United are the 3 other teams remaining in the hopper here in the Carabao Cup. In fact, we have Liverpool in the league coming up next. We're obviously not going to see that because we tend not to do back-to-back matches. Arsenal is drawn against Manchester United, so we will be playing Liverpool not once, but twice in the very near future. We are going to be the home team, I believe, except Carabao Cup. It's all at Wembley, isn't it, for the semifinals? Did I stick my foot in my mouth again? Probably. Meanwhile, we're going to make our way through the Premier League. Also, Dagon Red in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Pretty sure that's going to be a pretty easy victory for us. So we're going to come back tomorrow with Nottingham Forest on the road in the league. That one's on TV, so 1.4 million. Kerching, kerching. And Barcelona at the Camp Nou in the Champions League. And then on Thursday, I think we'll do Porto and Liverpool in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Will that change? Possibly. Who knows? You know me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for spending your time watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Also, make sure you show your support by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your notifications so you are one of the first to be able to watch the next episode of Bottom to the Top tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.